Hey, so I'm messing around in the studio today, and I decided I'm going to record something for you all, a little background to where I come from. I keep seeing these Instagram stories, these reels, where people don't get the chance to ask somebody a few serious questions before they're gone. So we're going to do this called the family segment. Time to time, I'm going to bring a family member, a friend, somebody who knows me, so you can get to know me a little bit better, get to know my family a little bit better. This is my mother answering 7 very emotional questions for me, and her too. And if you know somebody who didn't get a chance to ask these questions or find this out on their own with their mother, share, subscribe, leave a comment for what I'm about to put my mother through. We're going to do 7 questions to ask your mom before it's too late.
Okay.
Yeah, it may get emotional. So it's one of those things where I'm like, shit, I've never asked these questions. I figured I should ask these questions because they're random, stupid things I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's important because you don't know when that time will come. We never know. So
Exactly.
I think that's cool. Okay. Shoot away. I'm an open book, you know.
So what's your happiest memory of us? Take your time. Think about it.
Well, I already know what that is. My happiest memory of us was when we went on that trip to Southern California and you guys were teenagers and I got to see you enjoy the things that you only got to see over TV. But yet here we were in Hollywood and Ozzy Osbourne's house and
Rambo.
Yeah, all the things that you guys so loved. And I got to take you on that trip. We were there for, 10 days. Damn, we got to take a limo and it was just, it was a time that was amazing for us. It was a dream come true for a mother to be able to do that for her grown kids, not little kids, because little kids don't remember. But I know the 3 of you have that memory.
I did. I just didn't remember it until you brought it up. I've seen the videos.
And it was just a wonderful time. There was so much love and togetherness. We were so together. It was before you guys went off and created your own life. And for a mom, that's what you want. You want that memory. For me, that's the best memory that I have of the 5 of us together. We have lots of little things through the years, but that one just really was just the 5 of us, pure and natural. And, it was cool.
That's good. Number 2 is going to be, what was your first year of motherhood like for you?
Well, I was like ready. I had been out on my own for 7 years when I first became a mother. I was 16 and a half when I moved out. So I got to travel and do all the fun things. So when I first had your brother, Clayton, I was ready and I was excited and I wanted to be a mom. So for me, it was just, I thought the queen be a mother. And she showed me that there was as many downfalls as there can be being a new mom because you're learning everything. There's so much excitement watching them grow. So I was 23 when your brother was born. I was ready. And I was excited but scared because you never know everything.
Well, that talks about his birth. What was the first year like?
No, it was exciting for me because I got to enjoy it. You have to remember when first year of his life was, I had a lot of elders around me. So I had a lot of support. Oh. I spent a lot of time with my family. So I was lucky. I had that, how your grandmother was. Well, can you imagine how the great aunties and my grandmother was?
I can imagine.
Were just like, it was a lot of support and love, and we hung out and, there was music. Your grandpa was alive, so there was a lot of music at their house. And I didn't live with them, but I went there all the time. And then when I bought my first house, Clayton was little still, but then they'd come to me, Mm-hmm. So, it's a lot of, it was cool. I enjoyed it. I loved being a mom or I wouldn't have kept doing it.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, yeah. CJ.
And I still love being a mom. And now I'm a grandmother, so I love that.
Yeah. Khaleesi was much easier when she was younger. CJ being the nightmare he is, I wondered if you had trouble with your first, since CJ was my first youngling.
Yeah, but see, Chris, I think you had some other obstacles that I'm looking at you as your mother, as he was an obstacle because you had another child, one, and two, you had other influences. I think you did a great job with him. I think that you're a great dad. And I'm not judging. I'm just saying you'd have to sit when you are sitting in my place looking at you, and you will be someday, you'll think, wow, I dreamt for that. I dreamt for him to be that person. I watch your every video, and I know it's a challenge because you have two kids, but I also know that you travel back and forth from state to state. What a lot of people don't know is the backstory. So I think you do great. And I'm not just saying that. Anybody that doesn't know your backstory should be watching your videos. Your backstory and the way you are, you could never tell there was that story. Just like your dad. You know, your dad's backstory is very much like yours, other than the age. I mean, you know, he came along when Clayton was born, where, you know, you had many years that you weren't there, but you just slid into it like you'd already been doing it.
Exactly.
As a mom, it's amazing. And, you know, you and I, we butt heads.
Very much so at times.
But I couldn't be prouder to say your crowning achievement is that you're the best parent I know.
I appreciate that.
I'm sorry. That's the truth. And I'll go on record and fight anybody that can find one better. Because I don't know any man that would travel 6 states.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Question 3.
Yes.
Is there anything about our family's history that you've kept a secret?
Oh, no.
Nothing.
No. You know all my...
Even something small.
Oh. Well, William McKinley was the president of the United States, and he was my great-grandmother's third cousin removed. Did you know that?
Yeah, Grandpa told us that when we were younger.
Oh, okay. You know that my dad was not a Loy. He was a Pressfield.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes. No, he isn't a Loy. My grandmother was married to Alvin, but she had a fling, Granny Lacey, as she did with my Uncle Troy, too. And Alvin said, well, I'll stay with you until you have Roy, or the boy, and named my dad after Roy Loy Sr., or the first, right there in Oklahoma City. Then they divorced, and she married my grandpa Ralph, who was the best man I ever knew. Very much like your dad.
Oh, shit. That messes with the Ancestry.com.
Well, not really, because we could find Frank Pressfield. Your grandpa told me I could. It's just a matter of doing it, you know, the ancestry thing, which I should do. I always tell everybody that's part of my birthday present. I want that some year. But yeah, I mean, he's from Texas.
That's good to know. I might be related to people out here now that I think about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, so I thought you knew that, though. Yeah, Alvin is not my birth. I always wondered why he really clung to my dad because of the music business. Mm-hmm. And I think that he really loved my dad because, you know, my dad didn't know that he was an Alvin's until he was 10. And my dad had walked a field from Rio Linda to North Highlands to see him one day. And his then wife said, you know, you're not even his child.
Similar to what Justin did for me when I was, 11 or 10 or 11?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, but, you know, the difference was I was never going to not tell you.
I know, but it's one of those things where it was never, tell you guys. I know, it was never a sit down. It's not a bad thing. It was just never a sit down.
There's always a big mouth that's got to tell the story.
Yeah.
And Grandma Polly, she was a wonderful lady and was always good to me. But she regretted ever telling my dad because she felt like she had ruined his childhood because it was never the same for him. And he always, always loved them so much my whole life. He took care of my grandpa, Alvin and Polly. Your grandfather wasn't as good to himself as he was to everybody outside of our house. The rest of us had to work hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll talk about that more and I'll give you whatever information.
So number 4, is what's the nicest thing I've ever done for you?
Gosh. Anything ever? I mean, is it got to be a thing or can it be a person?
It's got to be a thing. You can't name my child.
It's a bummer. Because really, that's my best buddy.
Yeah, grandparents. What's the nicest thing in our history from birth till now that I've ever done for you?
Oh, I think when you took me to Oklahoma, I think when you came home and you and Leslie decided you were going to fly us out there.
The spur of the moment trip to visit the grandkids.
I think that just, yeah. I mean, I just felt, well, I'm a crier anyway, but it really touched my heart because it was done. And I was treated with so much love and respect and really just glad I was there. It was really a special time.
Oh, yeah, we loved having you. Like I said.
And it was just so, I loved watching the life 9 months isn't a lot of time. It just really touched me to watch what you and Leslie have built in less than a year. So I think for me, that was the most special time.
So number 5 is, what do you want or wish most for your kids? Think about it. Love?
No, I don't have real love. And I want my kids to know that it's easier to love and forgive. I really want that for them. I think I want that because forgiveness is a big deal. And people don't realize till they get older that we all falter short of everything. So I hope my kids don't do as I do better than I did, because I made a lot of mistakes. Learn by my mistakes and be better. Because I'm not the greatest person, but I'm real verbal, and I'll tell you I'm not perfect. I love unconditionally. I'm opinionated, though.
So this lines up with number 6. What is the best and worst part about getting older?
Clarity. That's the worst part. The best part is the privilege. A lot of people don't live this age. It's a privilege. I think the downfall of it is people don't realize when you get older, you're not capable of as much as you were maybe 20 years ago. Even though the world expects you to be 40 always, it doesn't work that way. It's a privilege to get older.
I feel it at 32. I understand. Things change.
Things change, and I think that it's not always fair. But I think if you're lucky enough, people understand it's not easy.
Yeah.
If you're lucky. Some people have it really easy and some have it a little tougher, and it comes and goes. And yourself, there's times that you have to ask for help when you're older and you don't necessarily like it. And it can be real humbling because you still want to be 40 in your mind. But the truth is that's the down part of it. The great part of it is getting to see your kids grow up and walk a walk that you walked and maybe do it different or better or the same, or you get to see things that you taught them and they do what you do. They mimic you. Mm-hmm. The song says, "I'm watching you, Dad."
Yep.
Every time I see CJ with you, it brings me back to a minute I saw you with your dad, because you were CJ in Mike's eyes. Yeah. And all those little things, that's you. I watched you with him like that more than any of the other boys because he was working so much. Mm-hmm. And you were younger. You tend to be the one, you were the CJ in the family.
Yeah, I was locked onto him straight away.
Totally. From 6 weeks. I mean, when he and I got back together, and that's another video because that's a story. You loved him from day one. You remember you were less than 2 months old. It was Christmas time. You were less than 2 months old. It was October. You were born. I was back in Carmichael before Christmas.
You travel fast.
I got rid of the problem. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Moving back to what I knew.
Now, number 7's a little bit harder. I want you to think about it. What do you want me to remember about you after you're gone?
The good parts. All the good parts. Don't remember the bad crap. There'll be plenty of that. That I loved you.
Love you
I
too.
Wanted best for you. I wanted the best for you. Even at times when you thought I didn't, I always did. I want you to be happy, no matter where you are or what you're doing.
No, I'm happy. God, that's a hard question to ask.
And it's hard for me to answer because I know I fought you on moving far away and talking to every mother, a friend of mine That's what they did with their kids too. But then we all come together, like my friend Laura, and her kids moved to Montana. And we all come together and we go, yeah, but it was the best thing. Because you got to find your wings to fly. It's not my wings. I've already been to to Missouri and Oklahoma, and even thinking about flying back out, but only because of you guys.
Drive would be easier, and you'd see a lot more of the southern United States.
Well, and maybe because we are of retirement age, we could really make it on what we make.
You can.
We're having a hard time, So it just, it is what it is. But
California is
anyway,
just getting expensive either way.
Oh, it's dirty, and people are not what they used to be. And my friends are the same, but they're dying off, and it's just crazy. But anyway, I want you to remember that no matter what you did in life, I was always back here watching you going, yep, that's my boy. He can do this. And that I believe you like no one else will, because I gave birth to you. And that is truly how I feel about each one of you. I will make you mad. But that's my job. But what I'm also supposed to do is say, I believe in you. How do I know? Because I know you better than anyone. You will fight the fight until there's no more fight in you. Because I'm that way.
I know. I think I sent some to you the other night. I was like, this is thanks to you. So.
Well, I want you to be good to people, and remember that even with your elders, you have to respect them because you're not there yet. And I know that's a hard thing to do. I think that you have it in you to be a leader in that town. I really believe that, because as a young man with 2 kids, you just don't even see what you got yet, but you got it.
Yeah. The difference is compared to a lot of people my age, I got a lot more responsibility.
But this can either be your friend or your foe.
Mm-hmm.
Your friend, not your foe. And that means sometimes you have to put it back in before it goes out. Learn what I didn't until later. Oh. Because we think it and it comes out. It's natural for you and me. Not good.
All right. I'm going to wrap this up. I love you, Mom. I appreciate you coming by. And enlightening. So.
You got more?
Yeah.
And the story continues. Watch for episode 2. Link and watch.
All right, everybody. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Love you, Chris.
Yeah, life can be super happy, life can be super sad. I'm trying super hard to separate the good and bad. I go back to my future just to get to my past. But knowing me, my DeLorean will probably